One television appearance, one leaked recording, one wardrobe choice.
So or not, that is the number fucking one, and if that bastard don't go...
That's all it took to destroy careers that seemed bulletproof. The 1960s music scene was unforgiving. And audiences turned vicious the moment they sensed weakness or deception. Bands selling millions of records one month became punchlines the next, their reputations shattered by single incidents they couldn't undo. Some destroyed themselves through terrible decisions. Others got ambushed by circumstances beyond their control. A few watched success itself become their downfall. These aren't stories about bands that faded gradually. These are 10 groups from the 60s whose credibility evaporated instantly, leaving behind cautionary tales about how fragile fame really is. 10. The Monkees. The Manufactured Revelation, 1967. The Monkees television show became a phenomenon in 1966, turning 4 relative unknowns into massive stars practically overnight. Their records sold by the millions, outselling even the Beatles at one point. Teenage girls screamed at concerts, merchandise flew off shelves, and the future looked unstoppable. Then music journalists started digging deeper into how those hit records actually got made. The truth emerged slowly at first, then all at once like a dam breaking. Session musicians from the Wrecking Crew had played most of the instruments on early albums. The Monkees themselves were primarily singers following producers' directions, not the self-contained rock group their image suggested. When this revelation hit the press, public perception flipped instantly. Fans felt betrayed and lied to. Critics who had grudgingly respected their success now attacked them mercilessly. The label Prefab 4 stuck like tar, comparing them unfavorably to the Beatles while suggesting they were corporate products instead of real artists. 9. Herman's Hermits. Peter Noon's voice scandal, 1966. Herman's Hermits owned the charts in the mid-60s with innocent, catchy songs that appealed to younger audiences.
Recall the way she used to feel when we heard.
Peter Noon's boyish charm and seemingly effortless vocals made him a teen idol across America and Britain. Songs like I'm Into Something Good and Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter became unavoidable radio staples. The group seemed positioned for lasting success, riding the British invasion wave with confidence and commercial dominance. Then whispers started circulating through the music industry. Session singers had allegedly contributed vocals to their recordings. Producers had supposedly manipulated Noon's voice so heavily in the studio that the real person and the record bore little resemblance. Whether these rumors held complete truth didn't matter. The accusations alone poisoned public perception instantly. American fans, already suspicious of British acts as potentially fake, turned skeptical overnight. The band's lightweight pop sound suddenly seemed like evidence of inauthenticity rather than artistic choice. Serious rock fans dismissed them as manufactured fluff. Their career continued with diminishing returns, but respect vanished the moment questions arose. Noon's actual vocal ability became irrelevant once doubt entered the conversation. 8. Paul Revere and the Raiders. The Costume Trap, 1965 to 1967. Revolutionary War costumes seemed like brilliant marketing when Paul Revere and the Raiders first adopted them. The tricorn hats and colonial outfits made them instantly recognizable, helping them stand out in a crowded field of British invasion competitors. Their music had genuine merit too. Songs like Kicks and Hungry featured strong songwriting and Mark Lindsay's powerful vocals. They weren't just a gimmick with nothing underneath, but television exposure through Dick Clark's Where the Action Is turned their advantage into a prison. The costumes appeared on screen so frequently that audiences stopped seeing musicians and only saw the outfits. What began as memorable branding became a joke that overshadowed everything else. Serious rock fans couldn't take them seriously while they dressed like George Washington's backup band. The group possessed real talent, but those colonial costumes became impossible to escape. Lindsay could sing circles around many contemporaries, yet critics dismissed them as children's entertainment. The visual gimmick that launched their career ultimately anchored it in novelty act territory. They became what they wore instead of what they played. 7. Jan and Dean, Dead Man's Curve, Irony, 1966. Jan and Dean rode surf rock's wave to enormous commercial success alongside their friends, the Beach Boys. Hits like Surf City defined California youth culture and sold millions, living the exact lifestyle their songs celebrated, seemingly untouchable at the peak of their powers. Then, in 1964, they released Dead Man's Curve, a song about fatal car racing on Los Angeles streets. The track became another hit, climbing charts while telling stories of reckless driving ending in tragedy.
It's all the way to Dead Man. Dead Man's Curve is no place to play.
2 years later, reality delivered a cruel punchline. Jan Barry crashed his Corvette at high speed, suffering massive brain injuries that nearly killed him. The accident happened on a dangerous curve in Los Angeles, eerily similar to the song's narrative. Suddenly, their biggest hit transformed from entertainment into something grotesque and prophetic. Audiences couldn't hear Dead Man's Curve anymore without thinking about Jan's shattered skull and months in a coma. 6. The Dave Clark 5, Ed Sullivan Overload, 1964 to 1965. The Dave Clark 5 arrived in America as legitimate British invasion heavyweights, genuine competition for the Beatles' dominance. Glad All Over actually knocked the Beatles from the #1 spot in Britain, an achievement few groups could claim. Their powerful drumming and energetic performances suggested staying power beyond a brief fad. Ed Sullivan recognized their potential and booked them repeatedly, giving them the same platform that launched Beatlemania. But 18 appearances on Ed Sullivan in just 2 years crossed the line from exposure to overexposure. American audiences grew tired of seeing the same band every few weeks. What initially felt like excitement became routine and then annoying. The special quality that made them seem important evaporated through sheer repetition.
All at once it happened, the prettiest.
Suddenly, they weren't Beatles rivals anymore. They were Ed Sullivan's house band, the safe choice, the group that showed up so often they became furniture instead of superstars. Fans who initially loved them now groaned when they appeared on screen again. Commercial success transformed into artistic death. Familiarity didn't breed contempt gradually. It happened all at once, the moment audiences realized they were sick of seeing the same faces every month. 5. Freddy and the Dreamers, the Freddy Dance Disaster, 1965. Freddy and the Dreamers achieved legitimate chart success on both sides of the Atlantic. I'm Telling You Now hit #1 in America, proving they could compete with any British invasion act. Freddie Garrity's energetic stage presence included jumping and wild movements that audiences initially found charming and entertaining. His enthusiasm seemed genuine, separating them from more serious competitors who stood still while performing. Then someone decided to formalize those movements into an actual dance called the Freddy. Television appearances showed Garrity leading audiences through coordinated jumping and arm flailing that looked absolutely ridiculous on screen. What worked as spontaneous stage energy became manufactured silliness the moment it turned into choreographed steps anyone could follow. Rock credibility died instantly. Serious music fans couldn't respect musicians who reduced themselves to leading dance instruction on variety shows. The band transformed from artists into children's entertainers practically overnight. Their songs became associated with goofy movements instead of musical merit. 4. The Troggs. Troggs Tapes. Studio Meltdown. 1970. The Troggs created Wild Thing, one of rock's most primal and influential recordings. Their raw, aggressive sound anticipated punk rock by a full decade, proving that simplicity and energy could triumph over technical polish.
But I wanna know for sure. Come on.
Garage bands worldwide copied their approach, making them genuinely important pioneers, despite limited commercial success compared to other British acts. They possessed street credibility that slicker bands couldn't manufacture. Then private studio recordings leaked to the public, and everything collapsed. The Troggs tapes captured the band arguing viciously during a recording session, screaming profanities at each other while trying to arrange a song. The fighting was petty, embarrassing, and revealed complete dysfunction behind the scenes. Bootleg copies circulated widely, becoming comedy material for radio DJs and music fans. 3. The Cowsills. The Partridge Family Connection, 1970. The Cowsills were the real deal, an actual family band with legitimate vocal harmonies and respectable hit records. The Rain, The Park, and Other Things reached number 2 on the charts, while their version of Hair became a defining song of the era. Unlike manufactured groups, they were siblings and their mother actually performing together, creating authentic family dynamics that audiences appreciated. Their success seemed built on genuine foundation rather than studio trickery. Television producers noticed their story and developed The Partridge Family loosely based on their concept. The Cowsills naturally assumed they would star in the show about them. Instead, producers hired professional actors, replacing the real family with a fictional one. Shirley Jones and David Cassidy became household names playing characters inspired by the actual Cowsills watching from the sidelines. The public immediately confused them with the television imitation. People assumed the Cowsills were copying the Partridge Family instead of the other way around. Their artistic identity got stolen by actors who couldn't actually play instruments live. Reality lost to manufactured fiction in the cruelest possible way. 2. The Archies. Cartoon band success backlash, 1969. The Archies didn't exist. They were animated characters on a Saturday morning cartoon show. Yet Sugar Sugar became 1969's biggest-selling single.
Okay, everybody, here we go with our new hit record, Sugar Sugar!
Moving 4 million copies and dominating radio for months. Session musician Ron Dante sang lead vocals anonymously while cartoon teenagers got credit. The record outsold releases by the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and every flesh and blood band working actual jobs touring and recording.
Girl, and you got me wanting you.
The rock community erupted in outrage. Real musicians losing chart positions to fictional characters felt like the ultimate insult to artistic legitimacy. Critics declared rock music dead if cartoons could achieve more commercial success than serious artists. The industry credibility crisis was immediate and severe, with established acts furious that their work meant less than manufactured animation. The Archies' success exposed uncomfortable truths about manufacturing and marketing mattering more than authenticity. For many musicians and fans, this moment proved the 60s idealism had died completely, replaced by corporate products designed for maximum profit. 1. Vanilla Fudge. Psychedelic pretension exposed. 1967 to 1968. Vanilla Fudge reinvented the Supremes' You Keep Me Hangin' On as a 7-minute psychedelic epic, slowing everything down and adding heavy organ swirls. Critics initially praised their innovation and experimental courage. The arrangement seemed sophisticated and daring, suggesting they were serious artists pushing rock's boundaries. Their debut album sold well, and respect came from both audiences and fellow musicians who appreciated the ambition. Then live performances revealed the truth behind the studio magic. Extended improvisations exposed limited songwriting abilities, and reliance on covering other artists' material stretched beyond recognition. What seemed like artistic vision in controlled studio settings looked like filler and pretension on stage. Critics realized style was masking the absence of substance. When psychedelia collapsed as a movement, Vanilla Fudge fell hardest because they'd built everything on trend rather than genuine talent. Respected innovators became cautionary tales about mistaking production tricks for actual musicianship practically overnight. These bands discovered that public opinion shifts without mercy or warning. Credibility built over years shattered in single moments they couldn't undo or escape. The 60s demanded authenticity above everything else, and audiences punished perceived fakery instantly. Once respect disappeared, no comeback could restore it. Their legacies got written by their worst moments instead of their best music, proving that in rock and roll, one mistake can erase 1,000 successes.